Sometimes there comes a point when the game changes. When the break comes. When the future is born. We're finding out about that turning point in the lives of some of Africa's most inspirational people. Join Ntabiseng More to celebrate those who have excelled in their fields and change the rules of the game along the way. From entrepreneurs to leaders of industry, movers and shakers to groundbreakers. Turning Point.
Welcome to Turning Point. Joining me is a master of all trades, Lebo Gunguluza. He's an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, just to name a few. Welcome, Lebo.
Thank you very much for inviting me to the Turning Point.
Thank you for having us. Now tell us, who is Lebo? We know you grew up in PE. What were the conditions there?
Yeah, well, I was born in a shack behind the funeral parlor, which is behind dead people.
What a combination.
Yeah. It clearly, throughout my life, really defined that, you cannot, define your future by where you come from.
That's true.
So for me, it's always something that said I'm special either way. Doesn't matter where I was born, but I was born in a place called Elalini in New Brighton. That's where the shack was. And my father passed away soon after that, like 6 years later, from cancer.
Wow.
And my mother, who was a nurse, had to raise me by herself with my two other siblings, my sister and my brother. So she really, really struggled. But there's one thing that she always wanted for us to do is to be educated. So all the money that she really was making from being a nurse, she planted it into any form of ways to educate us. I studied in the school in New Brighton called Jolobe. Then I went to a rural school in Tubaletu called Tubaletu. There we boycotted all the time. So because we were fighting Bantu education, and I repeated the classes 2 times. So my mother felt that, that's not good for me. So she took the last monies that were supposed to be put aside for us to attend university to remove us from the school and take us to a private school. Because in that school, it was a rural school, I didn't understand English very well. I was made to repeat a class again.
Wow.
So I repeated classes 3 times. At that point in my life where I was 20, only finishing matric and having no money to go to university, I made a decision that I don't care what happens, but at 25, I want to be a millionaire. At 35, I want to become a multi-millionaire. At 45, I want to become a billionaire. So I didn't care whether we should be focusing on money or not. All I knew is that I don't care what I do, but I must just make sure that I'm not living the life that I lived for the last 20 years. It was just a pure decision.
And you stuck through it?
I stuck through that decision because I did not enjoy those years.
Now, was there somebody, a teacher, an aunt, an uncle, that helped you to become who you are today?
I think I was very inspired by my father because before he passed away, within 3-4 years, he became one of the most successful lawyers in New Brighton. And it's just that he passed away too soon. But I think also what brightened my life a little bit more was a competition that I entered 2 years later after repeating the classes. Because I committed that, look, it looks like this English is very, very important. So I said to myself, I'm going to talk English with whoever comes my way. So I spoke English with helpers, I spoke English with mamas, I spoke English with everyone. I don't care whether you're a gardener, I will speak English to you because I wanted to get used to this language.
Yes.
So 2 years later, there was a competition that we entered where over 10,000 young scholars from all over the country participated. So we were asked that multi-choice is introducing a number of channels on TV. Remember, it used to only be Mnet or something like that, but they were introducing a number of channels. And what they said, if you had to write an essay on how you'd introduce these channels, how would you go about it? So we all had to write a one page. So we all submitted, and over 10,000 of us around the country. And out of the 10,000 young people, I came number one.
Wow.
That's why I was so determined now to go to get my education, because my mother had started somewhere.
Yes.
So what I did, I then only had 60 rands on board, but my mother put me in the bus. I went to go to University of Natal because I qualified to study there, but I did not have a loan or anything like that, so I did not know how I was going to do it. I fought very hard to get that bursary. You know, when they say fees must fall,
Yes.
At that time I was not saying fees must fall, I was saying I must rise to the occasion. You know, because there was no other options, you know. So I fought to get the loan, and I got the loan. On the last day, I did the arts and drama, because I used to see people on TV in Johannesburg acting, and I thought they were rich because they were driving nice cars. I said, this is what I must do. I must also be on TV driving those cars. But when one of the actors died, and they said he died poor and all of that, I changed my degree immediately, you know, and I said, no, I must do a BCom, because you can never go wrong with business.
That's true.
So I changed BCom. Then me changing BCom, that means it extended my years to 4 years, and my loan was only for 3 years. So on the last year of my BCom, I then had no money to continue the studies. So what I did, I approached Edgar's, and I said to them, look, I can open up accounts for you guys at university. All these young people that are coming here, they all want to look good. So why don't I open accounts for you? They gave me 1 month to do it, and in that 1 month, I had opened more accounts than they've ever opened in the whole year with the students. So they said, okay, we like you. Why don't we make you a trainee manager at Edgar's, and then you'll earn a salary. Fortunately, that salary then is the one that paid for my final year of university, because during the day I would be at work, and at night I would get some notes and study. And funny enough, I got better results than most people. Were there in lectures, because I used to get the notes from the guys, my friends, and funny enough, I passed well. So that was a great turning point for me.
You became a millionaire at such a young age, I think at the age of 27.
Yes.
How did you start?
When I came out of university, I had 3 options. I had an option to work either at Cadbury as a brand communications executive, or at F&B as a trader, or at SABC as an account executive. Obviously, aligning everything to my creative talent, I chose the SABC because I wanted a space that will potentially at some level get me to express my creative talent. I worked at SABC. I became so driven while working at SABC because, firstly, my family in PE was calling a lot because there was no jobs there. So I had a pressure of what they call it, the black tax, right?
To support.
Where I have to keep sending money to PE. And then that put a lot of pressure for me to work hard and get promoted. So I got promoted 3 times in a space of 2 years until I became a marketing manager for Metro FM. So I started bringing from account executive to brand communications to then marketing manager for Metro. So I asked the guys at SABC, can I do broadcasting? Because now I didn't want to just be with one radio station. I wanted to do the whole of broadcasting. So they agreed, and I went to overseas for to Washington to go study broadcasting. When I came back 3 months later, I was already ready to twang like there's no tomorrow, because I wanted them to.
You came back with an accent.
I came back with an accent. You think Timo Touches had something on me? No chance. I was twanging. When I arrived at the airport, hey man, what are you doing? How you doing, man? Are you good? Already they were feeling me. But I think when I landed at that time, already head boys had an agenda for me. So what they did, when they recruited me immediately to see if I can work for them. So I asked them, would you double my salary? They said, yes, we would.
Nice.
Because obviously it was the pressure, you know. So I got to work there. It was the first black advertising agency, and I really liked that idea. And then, but the agenda for them was that I must win them the Metro FM account, because I knew the Metro FM account very well. So yes, I won it for them, and they got it. And I worked on the Metro FM account. I worked on Hush Puppies and SA Brewery. Now SA Brewery used to bring me like drinks every month end. So because I was a socialite, now the GTI and things, I used to throw parties every month end as part of enjoying my life.
Booze.
Yeah, with my free booze. It used to pack. But the only challenge that I had when I was working there is that I used to work from morning to end. Like 10 o'clock at night. And I thought, but this is not right. I'm working so hard every day, but the money and the salary is still the same.
Yeah.
That's when I made a decision that these circumstances I must turn around, because as much as I'm throwing parties, but I'm now 26, and I'm supposed to have made a plan to be a millionaire at 25, and I'm busy entertaining people here with the booze from SA Brewery. No, this must change. I quit immediately.
Okay.
Because I just felt that I'm not focused. I'm not where. Just because I'm enjoying my life a bit better now, it just means that I must get back to my focus. So I went back to my focus. The same guys that used to come party at my place, I said, I'm going to make money out of the same guys now. So I went to look for an empty club in Sandton, in Nilovo. And I said, I want to open a club that is like the only first black club in the Sandton area, because all the clubs used to be in Hillbrow, Braamfontein. So that time, I said, I want to be the first guy, I want to break through. So I saw a club called Insomnia. So I went there, so it was empty, there was nothing, and I said to these guys, look, why don't I bring my market and my people to your venue? I charge the gate takings, you guys make money on the booze. Funny enough, they agreed. It was a beautiful club. So I spent like a week marketing and letting these guys drink my booze for free, until now you're going to come pay to drink my booze. So they came in numbers and they supported me. Wow. And for me, that was a huge turning point, because in just the space of 1 week, I made more money than I made in the whole month working at the advertising agency. And I thought, in 1 week, no. From today onwards, I'm becoming an entrepreneur. And that's a day I became an entrepreneur, and I never turned back ever since. I said to myself, look, I'm supposed to be a millionaire by now, and I'm not. I approached a wife with a big idea to say, now I want to be a millionaire, so I need to present a big idea. So I put together a thing called a Kwaito Storm, because I used to handle Kwaito artists. So Lebo Matosa and your speakeries, all these guys from Kalawa, I worked a bit with Kalawa. And then I came up with a project called the Kwaito Storm. And the Kwaito Storm, I presented to YFM and said, I want R1 million, because I wanted to be a millionaire. So I wanted to say, I want R1 million worth of airtime, but I will make this thing activate this youth brand of yours to the entire youth market. Because I know the market very well, I know what they like, I know what kind of DJs they like, I know. So I presented that to them, and they said, no, you see what, we don't trust you that much, so we can't give you R1 million, but we can give you $500,000. I said, that's good enough. The biggest mistake that they've ever made was to give me a schedule of where these things are gonna play and whatever. So I started arranging. I went to the venue. I said to the venue and owners, I've got R500,000 worth of airtime. You know how much it would cost you to advertise for $500,000 on YFM? This is it. Now, if you give me your venue for free, I will give you this R500,000 worth of airtime. And they said, yes. I said, wow, now no venue charge. Then I went to the guys who organized sound. I said, you guys do sound. I'll give you R500,000 worth of advertising. You give me 150K worth of sound. Would you do that for my Kwaito Storm? They said, yes. And then I went to the security guys who do security. Give me 200,000 worth of security. I'll give you 500,000 worth of. So I extracted that airtime about 7 times, including with Sowetan. By the time my advert started on radio, it was Gunguluza Entertainment in association with 1, 2, or 3. The young people thought it was the biggest thing ever to hit South Africa, the Kwaito Storm. And guess what? They just got so excited. But I did not know how I'm going to go about this. So I approached, I thought myself, I need to get a partner here, a guy who knows how to put such a big event, because I've never put such a big event before. So I went to the white market, like, you know, the rave market, to try and look for guys who are very good at doing this type of thing. So I found some French guys who are very good. So they were hosting a massive event. So I approached them. I went there and I said, guys, I know you are hosting this big event, but now can I employ you? And they said, yeah, but you're going to have to pay us. They spoke in French. And I said to them, no, come listen to my advert. It's already running on radio. I took that guy to the car. Hey, the advert came again. You know, yeah, my advert used to come every 15 minutes. So it came, and they Gunguluza Entertainment only. Hey, they thought this is massive. Yes. So the guy said, it sounds like it's big, huh? It sounds like it's big. Maybe I can insist. I said, look, but I've got no money now, because I spent all this money on this advertising, on these DJs, on these artists. But remember, all the artists were mine. Yes. Because I had to manage them. So they agreed to put this thing together for me, and I said they will take 20% of the gate taking. So what happened is that they literally coordinated the entire event. And all I did was just to learn and watch all the way. So that day when the event was starting to happen, when around 12 o'clock, it looked empty, and only 1,500 tickets were sold at CompuTicket, because they activated CompuTicket. And by 5 o'clock, 4,000 people. By 12 midnight, there were 14,000. By 2 o'clock, there were about 16,000 young people who have come. Then I had a meeting with them. Okay, guys, it looks very full out there. So what am I sitting at? And they told me that I'm sitting at 1.6 million. I had never heard of such money in one night. I had never heard of such money in my life. I had never seen such money in my life. You know, and I cried right there, you know, because I thought of the many challenges that I've been facing for all these years, and the turning point in my life to make so much money, and to think that it is possible to actually make that money. There is no one in this world who is stopping you from making that money. It's all the decisions, the commitments that you make about your life. Millions are not catered for only a certain people. Yes. They are for everyone. Yes. Everything on earth is here for you. The sun is here for you. The moon is here for you. The grass and the roots are here for you. There are no limitations. It just all depends on what you want to achieve.
Have you ever come to a point where you felt like you're going to give up and this is a bit too much for you?
Sure. Yes, many times. You know, think about the time that I closed down the Gem Group in 2004. I had a full building with 67 people working there. because of certain carelessnesses that I made, because I was making lots of money, so I ignored the business and started traveling the world a lot. And then I left a lot too, so I was not hands-on.
Yes.
And there were a lot of key mistakes that hurt some of my clients. And there I came back, those clients pulled out of my business. I mean, there I just had it because I had lots of money. Suddenly now I'm broke, and I'm thinking maybe I should just go back and work, because I mean, it was so sad to like the people that you've grown to know and love in the office and the business. Now you have to get rid of them. It's so painful, and then at that time, but then after that time, I fortunately owned the building where I sold the building, and I used the same resources to acquire Premier Piatti in Rosebank. So Premier Piatti became very popular. So then I didn't have to quit anymore because the nice thing about Premier is that also Premier used to pay me every month. So I always had it. But the biggest challenge in business is sometimes with the businesses that you run is that the others do well and the others do badly, because I've got 32 entities, and you find that maybe 10 of them are not doing well, and they always want money, and you start thinking, maybe I should just close down these companies. But you can see where they're going. You
have a vision.
You know where they're going.
Yes.
And I think if I close it, that means I'm losing all that investment into them. And it becomes so tough because now you have to go beg this company that's doing well to go support this one. And it becomes difficult, and you think, I mean, this is nonsense. But the only thing that I've cornered around that, and I've always expressed to the companies that are going through difficulties, is that in life, even government and anyone else, there will always be limited resources, but there's unlimited creativity. So as long as you become creative and you continue to become creative, whether you're creating new products or you're creating new approaches to the business, there's always an opportunity to be creative.
Yes.
and get out of a situation.
That's true. I love your honesty, Lebo.
Yeah.
In terms of future,
Yes.
what are your future plans?
The whole idea of now my last vision of being a billionaire, I had to put it on hold when I was 40 because I wanted now to invest back into entrepreneurship, because I didn't want to just talk about investing back. I wanted to do it. I wanted to be involved in it. So I was doing extremely well when I was 40, and I had so much money. So I introduced a thing called 12-12-12, because also happiness lies in the giving.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So what happened is that I launched a project called 12-12-12, where I committed to recruiting 12 entrepreneurs over 12 months to start 12 enterprises, so that I can then mentor these entrepreneurs and then guide them and drive them to achieve similar success to mine, because I know how to get to where I was. So now I wanted to teach the same young entrepreneurs to get to where I am. So, but the only deal I had with them is that I'm going to give you everything else except money, because money you must go make. So, but I'll give you infrastructure, I'll give you everything. So I actually got so much more happiness in sharing ideas with these guys. You know, you can't do it like that. I like your idea. How about we do this and that? So I got more joy out of that. It was even better than being a billionaire, because in a billionaire, you want to sit in your chair like this with your gold watch like this, and then you want to show off that you are now riding a Maserati, a Bentley and all of that. That means nothing to me, because I stayed in a house, a 7-bedroom house, all by myself. That means nothing to me. What means everything to me now is getting as many entrepreneurs in South Africa to have a decent opportunity in life. And also, I think the concept of being a billionaire might unfold from the current projects that I'm doing now. And if I become a billionaire at 50, I think I'm still good to go.
Thank you so much, Lebo, for having us.
I thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to share my turning points in life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we have it. It's not where you come from that will determine where you're going. Lebo is a clear indication of that. Join us next week, same time, on Turning Point.